Hi Virgo, welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your cards for December. I can't believe that we are already in December of this year. So much has happened, and yet not much has happened at all. I think we're all there in that place where we thought these things were going to happen. We've been pushing and pushing to make these changes, to find a better alignment, to make sure that we're in the right partnerships, we're in the right job, we're doing something that expresses ourselves. Like, the pressure has been on in 2020. And December comes as sort of the grand finale. Now, there's a lot of energy, so we're not just talking about one or two house placements that are going to get hit this month. We're kind of all over the board. So I'm looking at the astrology and I'm looking at your cards and I'm trying to get a feel for what's probably going to feel the most poignant for you. And I'm looking towards the end of that month, and I'm looking at the final Pluto Mars square, and I think that's where we're at. I think that all of December is kind of about finally making progress in that place that you've been hoping to make progress in all along. But there's so much of a different element here. Now, this is 5th house, 8th house stuff. It could have a lot to do with relationship, your love life, your children, and power dynamics within those relationships. And 5th house, 8th house stuff, I mean, I don't have to tell you, you've been dealing with this 8th house stuff for the past 6 months, whether you're trying to clear up debt and yet the bills just keep coming in, or you're trying to fix relationships that probably shouldn't have started to begin with. It's about checking in with our values. It's about making sure that other people value us. And it's about, leaving our mark. And it's not to make light of that North Node in Gemini in your 10th house, which is really all about who do you really want to be. Now, it's pretty potent energy, and it does not surprise me at all that you are coming out as a Queen of Wands. This is super creative energy. This is really energetic. Mars finally going direct in that 8th house means you finally start to feel like you have the stamina. That has been so hard to come by. You might have just physically felt drained for many months, and all of a sudden you start waking up and you start doing those little things, right? Like all of a sudden you get into a workout routine in the morning, and then you begin to realize how much better that you feel, and all of a sudden you want to grow it, expand it, enjoy it. And I see the Queen of Wands really enjoying the thing that she's doing and investing in right now. It's also a sexual energy, and it's also an energy of confidence, and I think Virgo's kind of feeling themselves this month. Now, that's not a negative way. It's not saying that you might be a little bit too, egotistical or conceited. By no means. That's not the case. I just feel like there's a pep in the step for Virgo. I feel like you are starting to feel capable. I think this is a lot of overcoming all the fears in 2020. And I think this is all about allowing yourself to express yourself, attracting relationships that are more similar to you and probably less power play dynamics. Now, next to you, your environment, your situation, maybe an energy that's working with you is that of the Emperor, which is more fire, more Aries. Now, in a way, I think this is Virgo kind of making December about Virgo. And that's probably kind of foreign to you. This could indicate that you are maybe dealing with an Aries, most likely an Aries, could be Sag or Leo as well. And it could be a boss, it could be a love relationship, you know, whatever it is. This is a symbol, especially of what happens when Mars starts to move direct. Now, he came out of retrograde mid-November, I believe. But he was barely moving. Mars was kind of limping along, kind of taking on this Chiron vibe of kind of having to still do the healing before you could conquer the world kind of thing. And all of a sudden, mid-December comes and Mars really starts to move. He starts to pick up speed. He starts to pick up focus and determination. And remember that he is still in his home sign. Mars is going to do you a lot of favors as far as overcoming fears, the inability to connect with others, fear of intimacy, fear of self-expression. Like, this all gets taken care of now. And trust me, it's going to pay off, because in February, Mars moves into Taurus and meets up with Uranus and brings this gigantic amount of change of the opportunities that you have earned because you are doing things a different way now. See, the thing about Mars retrograde was that we kind of had to peel back our ego a little bit. Now, that's not to say that you don't feel good about yourself. In fact, it's the opposite. Tearing down the ego is kind of tearing down that need to be right, the need to be in control, the need to make something work. We realized we just had to let go of it and kind of let God, you know, kind of let the universe guide you in a healthier direction. Now, that Emperor card showing up next to the Six of Pentacles in reverse, first card out. And this card is sandwiched in between that Emperor card and the Ten of Wands. And see, I think this is a closing out of the cycle. Now remember, we're closing out major cycles. This is not small transits. We're ending things that have been going on in our lives for maybe our entire lives. Maybe even longer than that. Maybe even multiple lifetimes. At the very least, we're closing out a 20-year cycle of Aquarius and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. Last time that happened, it was in Libra. So we're changing the way that we work and connect with others. And I think the theme for a lot of Virgos, Virgo ascendant, moon, sun, whatever it is the way that we have served and given to others. And I think we do so with an open heart, and sometimes it is not good for either party. And there might be some looking at your life, looking at your relationships, even with your children or significant others, where you have given and given so much, almost taking away their ability to give to you or your ability to give to yourself. Six of Pentacles in reverse is oftentimes my burnout card. You know, this could be the you that needs to please all of the people. Maybe there's a lot of people that you don't want to let down. Maybe there's a change or a choice that you want to make in your life, but you fear that it's going to disturb or cause chaos around the people that you love, your kids, the people you live with. You know, even if you want to leave a job, and yet there's this element of guilt that you carry with you about what they're going to do without you. And it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. The Ten of Wands means that you have to want more and you have to expect more, and you can't be the only one giving. This is about reciprocity, and it's about the resentment that comes from the lack thereof. See, December comes and our priorities become really important. Our focus is shifting, and We don't have the energy or the time to participate in any of these relationships. If you have co-workers that are constantly crying to you or complaining, or other people in your life that are always kind of complaining and yet not making any effort to help themselves, I think Virgo knows that this is the situation that they have to sort of walk away from. These are the scenarios that aren't healthy. And when Virgo keeps themselves in the Six of Pentacles energy in reverse, I don't think, Virgo, that you realize for certain signs, and definitely any sign that's ruled by Mercury, the way that you think greatly affects the way that you manifest. Meaning that oftentimes the way that you feel on the inside is a direct reflection of the things that are in your outside world. And Virgos like to make everything seem like it is all perfect, right? We like to fix things, and we like to fix people, and we devote ourselves wholeheartedly to projects. And then we begin to get a little bit stubborn because we really want to see these projects through. Like, we are earth energy, and that is about completion. It is about being dependable and reliable and creating a physical reward for our work. So a lot of the times it's not very easy for Virgo to just drop something because it's not working out. Especially a Virgo in a Queen of Wands energy, which is why I think the Emperor along with that is so important. Because when you're just the Queen of Wands, you could find yourself in cycles of giving and you really enjoy it at the moment. But with the Emperor energy, you start to realize you need to give to yourself more. That need to nurture and protect and love begins to shine inward for you. And I like the way that the next card out is that of the Two of Wands. I think you begin to make space. That Two of Wands is certainly a place of making space. Making space for the relationships that are equal. Making space for the opportunities that do serve you, the jobs that do pay you your worth. Maybe it's not even about pay. Maybe it's about getting a job doing something that really highlights your talents and passions, even if it means less money. And remember, you're being super creative, so it doesn't necessarily have to be about that paycheck. And you have the energy and the stamina and the determination with the Emperor to really focus and make things happen. So even if you can't quit that day job, if you have any thinking about going back to school or changing your career or what you do, or leaving a marriage, I wouldn't base that decision necessarily on money. I think the universe is going to have a pretty creative way of making things happen for you. Really what you want to do is just kind of set your sights on it. What you want to do is believe in the possibilities. See, I think this puts you in a pretty strong place. And the overall energy, and this is where I'm coming from here, there may be specifically an Aries energy coming into your life, an Aries or a Libra. And this could also be your 8th house, 2nd house kind of lining up, because your environment is that of the Emperor, Aries energy, 8th house. And then you have the King of Swords, which is the Libra energy that I feel. And that's the, I'm drawing like the 2nd house of self-worth and vision. And I think this is what it's all about, is the vision. Vision is the 10 of Pentacles. So it's complete sustainability. It's wanting it all. And I just think it's about not selling yourself short. Oftentimes I see the Six of Pentacles as kind of breadcrumbing, and I don't think Virgo is kind of putting up with any relationships where people are just going to invest a little bit or make promises without really following through. And I think now it becomes more of a focus of what you can actually deliver. Ten of Pentacles, King of Swords has the vision to create it. The Ten of Pentacles makes it a physical reality. So King of Swords kind of knows he needs to start saving money or budgeting because he wants that new home. And then the Ten of Pentacles is the new home. It is the reward for the work that's well done. Now remember, we've been dealing with closing out a lot of karma in that 5th house with that Capricorn, Pluto, Saturn mess all year long since January. In that 10th house, North Node in Gemini with the 10 of Pentacles, it's very much about the vision for what you want for the future. Knight of Pentacles underneath is the knowing that Rome was not built in a day. Nothing of high quality is done instantly. And the King of Pentacles means that the intentions are good. The focus is there. It will take time, it will take energy, it will take dedication, but it will be worth it. And whatever it is that you're moving towards represents a Two of Cups. Two of Cups is most likely a relationship that is well balanced. Two people coming together, and this is a Venus and Cancer energy, so it's equally nurturing each other. I like this because it's kind of the antithesis of Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's all about finding those relationships where you give and receive equally, even if those people are very different. Maybe they could teach you and open you up to new things, and you to them as well, and there's an equal amount of respect. There's a good flow and there's alignment. Now, if you're single or, you're watching this at the end of December and you're like, well, what the hell, I didn't meet anybody. The Two of Cups still means there will be alignment. There will be alignment between your masculine and your feminine energy, and you will feel more kind of at ease with the flow of life altogether. It means that you'll know when you kind of have to activate that masculine energy of having to go out and conquer. That's the Emperor. It's very Aries, cardinal, masculine. And then there's the Queen of Wands, which is Aries, feminine, which is the ability to reach what you want, to get what you desire just simply by attracting it to you. So your happiness and your mind space, King of Swords, is so important this month. And the things that you will achieve here will bring you the ultimate peace. Four of Swords, and that's what I feel even when I hold this card. And I think with this, seeing this card here and knowing this 10 of Wands here, I don't think that you realize how close you actually are. If you're listening to this and your life is a shit show and you're like, nothing is working out, I feel like you're in the perfect place. And I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time focusing on whatever didn't work out, because you are closer to peace and resolution than you have ever been. Now, second row, Knight of Cups, the very center card in your reading, Page of Cups, and the Three of Wands. Okay, so I don't think you are the Knight of Cups here. I feel like this is somebody else, maybe somebody who's showing an interest in you. I like the energy coming from this Knight of Cups because it's not heavy, it's not burdensome. It feels like an immense amount of respect and interest. In fact, it almost feels as though this person kind of adores you. In some ways, I think that this person finds you really funny. I think this person is entertained by you. I think they feel your warmth. I think you are coming off as this Page of Cups, which tells me this is probably something brand new. Maybe somebody you're just starting to talk to, somebody you're just getting to know, or it could be platonic or a friend or even a child. But that Page of Cups feels like you kind of with an open heart, open to the possibilities, not closed off to the idea of love. You know, there's no bitterness. The Page of Cups represents a child. It's a return to innocence. It's not about really meeting other people and then comparing them to everybody else that has ever disappointed us and trying to predict the future outcome. I think the Page of Cups indicates that what you're entering now really has nothing to do with any of the situations you were in the past. I think the Page of Cups also tells me that you are stepping into a place of complete comfort in yourself. Now, maybe this is just with another person. Maybe you meet somebody and all of a sudden you feel comfort in being yourself. But seeing that next to the Three of Wands coming directly underneath that Two of Wands card, tells me that the desire is growing. Your imagination is expanding. The possibilities are definitely increasing. Now, maybe they're increasing according to, I feel like I'm missing cards here. Okay, oh, here it is. Okay, sorry guys. I feel like the Three of Wands takes an idea with the Two of Wands, you know, kind of that idea or that doorway that you open into. And the Three of Wands makes it a little bit deeper, a little bit more serious, a little bit more of a commitment on your part. There could also be just an element of waiting, and both of these cards also represent travel. You may be overcoming kind of a distance thing. Maybe you've met somebody online that lived kind of far away, and that's kind of a challenge in the beginning. And yet you do begin to find solutions. Three of Wands. Three of Wands is also kind of this intuition that you know that this thing is a little bit different than all the other things. I feel like the Three of Wands, there's a ability to intuitively feel like this could be something special. The astrology cards on this line that you got is Virgo, I analyze. Pulled your own card. Jupiter return, benefits. And the part of fortune, increase. All right, so let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter moving into Aquarius is kind of like breaking out of jail for him. He's been in his detriment in Capricorn. Now, that's not to say that he can't bring us anything good, but what he brought us was pointing out our need for structure and boundaries in our life. And it was probably not so easy of a lesson being, you know, in that fifth house, meaning that some of the things that you really loved might have been taken away, some of the joys in life, and it suggests that you need to find new. Trust that when there is space made, or at any point in time when we experience a loss, it is replaced. That is the laws of the universe. Now, that's not to say that, if you've lost a pet or something, one just kind of appears at your doorstep. And it's certainly not to say that if you've lost, a relative or a loved one, it's not that kind of replacement. But wherever there is an emptiness in your life, something will come in. So it's important to have a beautiful relationship with what that thing is. Underneath the Virgo card came the card gratitude. And I think this is kind of the secret weapon for Virgo this month, the idea of gratitude. I'm also being told intuitively to pay attention to the month of September, or around the time when the sun is in Virgo, or maybe something actually occurred last September that kind of started all of this, which is also about when Mars went retrograde, so or moved into Aries. So that also makes sense. And sometimes in an 8th house transit, we kind of have to learn to do more with less. Now, especially in terms of finances, we might have to get creative in order to make ends meet. I'm sure there's so many of us that have been in that situation throughout 2020. I mean, we've all felt how unstable it is. And if you were somebody that had to close a business or miss out on a job or income of any kind, your ability to be grateful for the things that you do have will literally bring you rewards and good karma. That's what Jupiter is. Now you're graduating out of this 5th house placement and you're moving into a 6th house placement, and Saturn and Jupiter are conjunct together in your 6th house, which is your natural house, your house of health, schedules, routines, your daily stuff, your work, your coworkers, your pets. And these are all due for a major reset in your 6th house. And I think that attributes to the Queen of Wands kind of feeling. And as well, the Page of Cups. I think whatever happened, you make space in your life and you become to be more organized. An Emperor, you begin to feel like you have more control. Maybe you got out of some bad friendships or a relationship that was taking a lot of time from you. And now in that space, in the extra time, you start to do the things that make life actually easier to begin with. You get caught up on the piles of work. You get the budget taken care of. You answer all the emails. You go through and you look at all of the subscriptions and kind of cancel and do what you can there. It really is about getting organized with our day-to-day life. And once we do that, once we stop the procrastinating about the things that we don't particularly want to do, we begin to feel this sense of freedom. All of a sudden, we can kind of drop the stress and anxiety. And when we drop the stress and anxiety, the Three of Wands moves really quickly. Those ships come to shore much faster when we stop thinking about all the reasons why we're not ready for them. And the Jupiter card with the part of increase is definitely an indication that rewards are coming, expansion is coming. Maybe you're starting your own business. Maybe you're making a hobby into something that you can kind of monetize. Maybe this is a new relationship. Maybe this is a new group of friends or an association. Whatever it is, it means your life is expanding and the things that are in it are expanding as well. Now, the thing about it is, next to the gratitude card is the fear card. Now, there's a couple things that happen to us commonly when we start to really manifest and get the things that we desire, when we become in alignment and we begin to really love and adore our lives, the people and the things that we have in it. Even if they aren't the most expensive, even it wasn't the life plan, even if things were unexpected or didn't go as you expected them to go, I think that Virgo still loves the way everything worked out, the good and the bad. And I think the fear card, I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love, is actually this subconscious fear that we have of success altogether. Now I say that because it comes out next to the Justice card. There's a lot of Libra energy, or maybe I'm just picking up on Libra energy. There's a lot of Libra energy in this reading. And the Justice card is that as well. Is there something within Virgo who knows that they've oftentimes done the right things, done everything they could with as much dignity and respect for others? And so you know the universal law is that what you are is what you attract. Justice, you're attracting justice. You're attracting people that are as loving and nurturing and wonderful and smart as you are. Something about that scares you. Maybe this Knight of Cups. Maybe this Knight of Cups is someone that kind of represents all the things that all of the other people or jobs wasn't. Maybe you've been in very selfish relationships for many, many years or your whole lifetime. And suddenly you meet somebody who isn't selfish at all. And there's something that can come over us. You know, it's kind of like that idea of what would it feel like to win $100 million and know that you could never run out of money, you could never need for anything, you would never have another worry in your life. And sometimes some people, myself included, just the very thought of that makes me nervous. Just the very thought of having no choice but to have all of our desires be met makes me nervous. And why? Because we're stepping out of comfort zone. South Node and Sag in your 4th house, which is also heavily highlighted this month, is all about your comfort zones. And it might be the epiphany or the realization that your comfort zones are the very things that have been holding you back in life all along. Relationships with people that were never going to live up to their potential. Jobs that were never going to become that position that really made you feel important. These are the cycles that we're overcoming and breaking with that Justice card. This is the world saying, okay, now let's try it differently. Let's hand you something completely different because you deserve it and because you're attracting it. Now I like that the Justice card comes out with the Hanged Man in reverse, and next to that is the Death card. There's a Death card directly underneath this 3 of Wands. Really interesting energy here, and this is that Pluto Mars square that happens at the very end of the month, along with 11th house full moon. The last week or so of December and the winter solstice has a lot of intense energy. A lot of intense changes and transformations that can happen. The Justice card with the Hanged Man in reverse means that you have made the decision. You've made the call. You've walked away. You've dropped the things. Remember, the Hanged Man in reverse comes out right underneath that 10 of Wands and the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups being that return to your heart place. Leo had kind of a similar message too. Hanged Man in reverse is nothing but enlightenment, having a different perspective. And I think that perspective is the Page of Cups, being open to love, being open to the opportunities, almost being open to the miracles and believing in it. Getting out of your comfort zone of people disappointing you. And I am particularly in love with this Death card beneath this Three of Wands, because this means that we are transforming our relationship with desire, with expectations. We are transforming and learning how to do things in a different way. Three of Wands can also indicate expressing your needs. There's a lot of 8th house energy, Mars energy here as well, telling me that you are probably going to be taking charge in a lot of different ways. There's a surrender. And I love, now these 3 cards kind of came out together. I usually would only have the Death card that came out, but these came out together, and I think sometimes when they fall down the way that they did, it's important to keep them. And you got the transformation card, the Death card, along with the Hermit and the Knight of Wands in reverse. Pretty potent message here. Transforming the Hierophant is transforming how we love and care for ourselves. He's our higher being. He's our higher guide. He's, you know, our guru, our leader, our teacher. We're also transforming our relationship with the idea of commitment, what it's all about, of the things that we need and require. If you're somebody that had a certain set of standards, like I want to be married to somebody and they have to have brown hair and blue eyes and live in this city and drive this kind of car, like that's just nonsense. Those things aren't even important to begin with. And I think the Death card, along with the Hierophant card, is transforming yourself, doing that shadow work, which we've been doing for all of 2020. You know, we're kind of like, I know, the butterfly in the cocoon, and now we're getting ready to emerge with the Hierophant into our higher selves. And the Hierophant and the part of Fortune together means that there's, at the very least, the ability to kind of stand on our own 2 feet, not really worried about what other people think, not really taking other people's advice. Knight of Wands in reverse is kind of interesting here, because I think on one hand it's not accepting kind of that player energy anymore. Anybody that comes in and kind of wants to get immediately sexual, or there's just kind of a sexual connotation to a relationship. As well in a business partnership, if there's a lot of talk but no actual documents being signed, or that kind of stuff, you could start to realize it's maybe not worth all of your time and energy. Maybe there's better things to invest yourself into. Now the final 2, not final, the animal cards, you got the Swan and the Mouse. And again, this is reiterating your ability to think positive and to think, and I think Sagittarius season will really help you with this. I think as we start to, especially Venus moving out of your 3rd house, Scorpio, which is kind of this rough transit because it brings you such an immense amount of truth, which you needed to know. You needed to see those things for who they are. You needed to see those people for who they were. And that's what Venus and Scorpio through your 3rd house will do. And now we move into Sag season. There's an optimistic emphasis on home and family and your heart and your emotions, and you become the sacred place for yourself. And I just see Virgo moving themselves out of drama and worry and just taking care of themselves. If this is a new relationship that is developing, I see you taking your time and allowing a whole new way of doing it emerge. Also indicating that if you are beginning a relationship or even a new job, don't be so quick to judge it right away. Don't be so quick to judge anyone or anything right away. You know, when we're in eclipse season and things feel so chaotic, it's easy to get scared away. It's easy to kind of jump to conclusions or just decide that you just simply can't, won't, you know, and yet there seems to be a very lovely opportunity in front of you. And maybe this Knight of Cups is kind of coming in to change the way that you see yourself, to change the way that you approach relationships, and that Six of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe this Knight of Cups is here to kind of show you that not everybody's like that. Not all relationships are like that. And maybe it's the Knight of Cups that makes you believe in the goodness of people again. Last card you got was Yang. I want to read this one to you. Card number 1. It's so crazy with the Emperor here. And again, some of you are definitely dealing with somebody who has placements in either Libra, Aries, or both. Yang represents the power of action, the energies that propel the world forward, and manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny now. I'm also going to read to you the relationship message. Circumstances are supporting action on your part. It's okay to make the first move. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand. In matters of the heart, there is a movement toward your highest good, so go forth with assurance. Passion is in the air, and now is the time to dance to the tune of love. Take the lead. Yeah, I think it's getting over the fear of connecting to someone else, even after, you know, the losses that you've been through in the past few years. All right, Virgo, that was a really beautiful reading. Thanks so much for listening. I'm going to be back mid-month instead of doing a mid-month love reading, because I think we're all kind of in it anyways. I'm probably going to be taking a closer look at what 2021 going to be about, maybe taking a monthly look at the themes of what 2021 will bring for you guys. So I do hope that you have a really wonderful holiday season. I hope it's a wonderful Christmas, or and that even if you don't get a chance to really be with a lot of family or be very social, if the rules and regulations are kind of isolating you in, please know that you are thought of and loved by so many, and you know, we have to do our best to kind of still feel our way around this. It's important to have connections in our life. Okay, Virgo, I love you so much. Have a wonderful December, and I'll see you soon. Bye.